There are these four walls. They make a room. In this room is a table. On the table is a pad. You can almost hear the brain breathing as he puts the pen in his hand and his hand to the pad to write. Needing a topic or insight, think back. Find a memory to paste the past presence into present tense, producing pronouns that proclaim prosperity pronounced in poetic prose, reciting regal beauty like a rose unfurled, reaching an atmospheric, organic, biorhythmic climate climax when the flow of the windpipe caresses your back and up the neck. Subconsciously, you separate yourself in stereo and follow the wind song, enhanced by microphones. Embodied pen strokes entice the tongue to bite on those. That's the loose leaf. Embodied pen strokes entice the tongue to bite on those. That's the loose leaf. Four walls. Star means spiritually tuned among rhythm and rhyme. I guess I consider myself a Renaissance artist, a jack of all trades, a master of few. But I'm a poet. I don't want to say rapper, but I rhyme. I sing, I write songs. I'm a musician. I play piano, drums, and percussion. And I'm also a recording engineer and a professional actor. I've been producing for my own music for 14 years. And I'm 28 years old. I'm from Kingsport, Tennessee. I've been living in Knoxville for like 8 or 9 years. And it's been a struggle, but I'm still here, you know. But the name Carlton means farmer, from what I've been told, and a few books I've read. And a farmer is one who plants seeds. And I never really thought that I was a Carlton until about maybe a year or two ago, maybe 3 years ago. After competing in a bunch of slams and stuff like that, and just really realizing that I am planting seeds through my actions and through my writings. But Carlton is, Star is just an extension of Carlton. Star is the one that's not as shy, more outspoken. You know, it's just an extension of myself. Carlton is the more soft-spoken, sometimes shy, but more soft-spoken and slow to speak than anything. Sometimes Carlton can be the wiser of Star, because Star just says sometimes that part of me will just say anything. I played spades with a Klansman. He called me a renigger. And I hate to say it, but I built a reputation for people not knowing what Star is going to say next. Yeah, Star Child. It's Friday night. 6:45, waiting on the bus. Get ready to go to the slam, try to put it down, man. Last man standing tonight. And I'm gonna be late. Hopefully we can do something.
Oh, I thought you said. Hey, baby.
How you doing? You are my lady, my love. You're everything I need and more. Oh, raindrops keep falling on my head as I lay in bed thinking of you. I wonder if I could feel this way forever. Forever, ever? Forever, ever. Like for worse or for better, through any weather time may bring our way, I'm here to stay like a tree rooted to your soul, walking in the shadows of your deepest fantasy, becoming reality. I want you to be my kid's mother. You take my breath away like asthma. I must have been a fool not to say I need you, but I do. You're my moon, lighting my darkness, giving strength to the heartless, wisdom to the smartless, and it's past time you know this before we depart this earth. Raindrops keep falling on my head as I lay in bed thinking of you. I wonder if I could feel this way forever. Forever, ever? Forever, ever. Forever never seems that long, but it is so. Let me be your love song, better yet your love Jones, your atlas, carrying your mattress, suppressing your burden. If love was Pokemon, Ash couldn't catch this. Pikachu could throw 100 lightning attacks at you, I still wouldn't move. I'd embrace my wound like a baby, name it Tracy. Ask for another offspring, deliver it pain-free. Outside while it's raining, complaining because Cupid ain't aiming correctly, directly at me. Ow, nigga! Don't you see, for you I will hop on the highest mountaintop on half a foot, bling, proclaiming, singing, I just can't stop loving you. Doesn't he see that I would take 41 shots in the back for being black while reaching for my wallet and call myself Diallo? Muhammad, standing in the middle of Manhattan, ranting, the plane, you couldn't stop it. Laughing, saying I'm from Afghanistan, go on national TV like, fuck Americans, singing, Mama say, Mama sa, I'm Bin Laden, son. Tell the National Guard Osama's my cousin, still a butter knife and take hostage the Pentagon. Tell the Klan I'm Jesus and I'm back again. Cast the first stone for my own sins. Go on Oprah, tell her there's no hope for her. Smack a man with no hands and dare him to fight. War, take his land like they did the Indians. Now you know that ain't right. Call Geraldo, tell him I'm the cat that broke his nose. Call him NASA, let him know I blew up the Apollo. Interrupt the poetry show, steal the mic and be like, Mo, nigga, can't nobody flow like my girl for show. Now, baby, you just stand there and look tight. Girl, you all right. See, I get the crowd hype when I recite this poem. I guess I should show them, because, girl, I ain't knowing that I got something for them. Raindrops keep falling on my head as I lay in bed thinking of you. I wonder if I could feel this way forever. Forever, ever? Forever, ever.
The Kuumba Festival is an African festival that was started in 1989 by some Knoxville artists and performers, and I got to meet Sonia Sanchez, and I also got to perform again for Brother Abiodun from The Last Poets. It's just a great experience for up-and-coming writers, because that's history, and those are legends in their own rights. And I got to sit in the presence of that and soak up their wisdom, and it just lets me know how far this whole craft has come and where it's going and where it could possibly go and what it could possibly do, bridging the gaps between race, ethnicities and cultures, even age barriers.
passing on the culture to each generation. We have this generation, we have this generation. One thing that's important that we keep the culture going, keep passing it on, passing it on, passing it on. From me to them,
It was the coming that was bad. It was the coming across the ocean that was bad. It was the coming. It was the coming. It was the coming that was bad. It was the packing us into say ships. It was the packing, or us into ships. It was the coming. It was the coming. It was the coming. It was the coming. It was the crossing. It was the crossing. It was the crossing. It was the crossing that was bad. The raping. It was the raping. It was the raping. It was the raping that was bad. It was the silence, the noise, the silence, the noise, the silence, the noise, the silence. I was. It was the boat. It was the boat. It was the boat. It was the ship. It was the ship. It was the landing that was bad. It was the landing that was bad. It was the landing that was bad. It was the standing on auction blocks. It was the standing on auction blocks. Blocks. Don't. Touch me. Don't. Touch me, please. Oh, the coon. Oh, yeah. Oh, the coon. Jesus, my son. It was the standing that was bad. It was the giving birth that was bad. It was the giving birth that was bad every 9 months. 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 I shall be. I am. I was. Shall be. Mama, Baba. They know not what they do here, do there. You want to know who I am, huh? Want to know who I am, huh? Can't you see who I am, huh? Can't you see who I am? Can't you see who I am? I am.
Like I love what Sonia said. Don't say anything negative. We don't need to say anything negative. I feel real bad being a last poet, but we had a bunch of nigga poems. A bunch of nigga poems. We said, run nigga. We said, niggas are scared of revolution. We said, niggas are untogether people. I mean, we went so far as to come out and say, die, nigga, die. You can't get any more serious than that. We said, die, nigga, die, so black folks can take over. But nobody really wanted to hear that because see, to be black means you're going to be responsible. And to be responsible means you got more work on the table. And it's easy being a nigga, but you have to be responsible. You know, but it's very important that we recognize, well, there are a lot of things that there's a new frontier. Bush and company do not run anything. The media does not control our minds. If the media is controlling our minds, then we're sick. And we have to admit we're sick. And turn off the damn television.
I teach curse words. I don't run from them. We don't, you know, because the minute that the kids know that that there's a group of words over here that some adults will just simply say, you can't say that, those words become so important. Those words become more important than their name. I mean, like, I have a lecture on nigga. I do a whole lecture series on the word nigga. Because the kids wake up in the morning, yo, that's my nigga, yo, my nigga, what's up, my nigga? No, you can't be my nigga. Niggas are a character. Niggas are not people. everybody in this place right here could be a nigga at any given time if somebody stepped on their foot the wrong way. You can be a nigga or a bitch, either one. I deal with these words. Those words have value. And when I go to other countries, one of the first things I do is I learn the curse words of the country I'm visiting. Why do I do that? Because I want to know what the people value the most.
I got to read my piece, Reflections, and that's a very personal piece for me. I wrote it when I was 22, and I didn't even start performing it until I was like 24, because it was so personal, and I didn't think it would be a good piece to do, but it turns out that became one of my better pieces. But I got to read it in front of Abiodun, and I got a good reception. Abiodun told me that he loved my voice. He asked me if I was recording, and I'm like, yeah, I love to get a chance to work with him. Sometimes I feel like an authorless rhyme. Sometimes I feel like an authorless rhyme. Coming forth into manhood, I find myself staring in an opaque lake of promises broken. The truth being choken by dreadlock weeds, hidden by head wraps. Conceived from sleeves of a love that once was protecting deceit. Awakened from sleep that made me weak. It seems crazy where I'm at now. The turn my life has taken. I look back and I'm like, man, what the hell was I thinking? But now I'm changing, trying not to be left hanging or dangling in the ropes of time. My mind is rearranging while I'm facing adulthood. 27 years of life, fighting day and night, but it's all good. And with all that I learned, I know I should have died at birth. My fetus was burned and stained from cocaine. My blood left with its residue. Infliction stuck to me like glue. Who knew what would come to pass? Now the moon reflects time as I intertwine beats and rhymes with the horizon and wise ones. I am the rhythm, plop. I am the rhythm, plop. I am the setting of the sun, reflecting wisdom through creation. Eternal peace is my final destination. I am one with the drum. I hold it close like my crotch, or like a thug holds his gun, and I plow, sample nothing, just watch me take nothing and breathe life into it. I don't need Naki to tell me to just do it. I get to it like after the one, but before the two. Rakim told me to get paid in full. Then he held up a sign that said, beware of bull. Shit, it comes quick. And on the three, and if you miss it and step in it, it will become you. And since I am you and you are me, it becomes us. Then we end up right back at the back of the bus. Then we won't want to grow up, cause we'll be Toys R Us kids. There's so many drugs and guns and thugs that society plays with, and you know who you are, cause you won't embrace this. That nigga in the project bricks with no job and a nice car, only worried about the ice on his wrist or the gold around his neck. 22-inch Cuban links still collecting welfare checks. Since slavery we've been trapped. To this day, Kaggle couldn't take us away. I thought the best part of waking up was waking up, not Folgers in my cup. But what's done is done. It's time to wake up, like the end of school days. But Spike Lee directing this cut, and if he was, he'd probably say do the right thing. But niggas be singing, it don't mean a thing if it don't go bling bling. Cause if it ain't bright, it ain't right. Blinded by the world so you can't see the light. But that's why I'm starved, cause these words be shining, not as bright as the moon, but brighter than diamonds. And I've come a long way, that's why I be rhyming. But I got a long way to go, that's why I'm still crying. But quitters never win, so you know I keep trying. And every day that I live, I know I'm still dying. And the devil is alive and he's come out of hiding. But God is coming back, I read it in writing. So we gotta get right, please don't think that I'm lying. Embrace your culture, don't rely on it. Embrace your spirit and confide in it. Embrace your love, the truth, and die for that.
Not easy to do. That's why everybody was sharing their work. I'm very proud because some people think it's a very easy thing. It's not. It's because, you know, a lot of times we write just for ourselves, but to share it with other people is important.
Man, I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. Was adopted by the age of, I don't know, like 18 to 20 months, something like that. Adopted to the family in Tennessee. My birth mother, my biological mother, was a crackhead, so, you know, I'm a crack baby. And so I had like all these birth problems, you know what I mean, all these sores on my body, bumps and bruises. I had a club foot that had to go in and show you the scar. They had to go in and take out the knot in the vein in my ankle. You know what I mean? Had a hernia. I ain't got no belly button. You know what I mean? Had a hernia when I was a baby. I'm bald right here. You know, it's weird. How you bald right there? You know, people bald like right
bald
there.
Bald nicked you forever.
But it's crazy. So, you know, I just had all these problems. So that's where, in my piece Reflections, that's what it means. My fetus was burned and stained from cocaine. You know, something like, I know I should have died at birth. My fetus was burned and stained from cocaine. My blood left with its residue. Infliction stuck to me like glue. Who knew what would come to pass? So that's where that comes from. Yeah. Time. Yeah. One. Yeah, this is my old apartment building, man. I used to live there. I lived there for like 3.5 years. I got evicted because they raised the rent. This whole place got bought out by another company, so they started changing shit and raised the rent. And they raised my rent to almost $500, man, 1 bedroom. I mean, you know, it's a nice area. They won architectural awards back in the 70s and all that, but it ain't worth $500. I was robbed 3 times in 1 week over here, you know. I had my whole studio set up in there in the back room. Somebody came in and robbed me, a dude that I was working with. He didn't rob me because I wasn't there, but he broke in and took all my equipment. You know what I mean? I still love you though, dude. I know who you are. But he broke in and took everything, you know? But it's crazy though, because I first moved in and there's like a view right here of the parking lot. And I had my keyboard. That's really all I had when I first moved in was like a couch. I got my couch like 2 months after I moved in. And I set up my keyboard right at the door and I looked out at the window and saw the view. And I made like 5 beats in like 45 minutes, you know, and I called them All Town View, you know, and that inspired me. Come man, let's check out this view. That's what I was looking at my first, this is what I was looking at from my window. I used to sit out on the porch, man. People come through and have their concerts at the Coliseum. I sit out on the porch and listen to the concert. You know, I don't even need a ticket. One thing I learned here, man, is watch your back. You know what I mean? Everybody that say that your friend ain't your friend. Got another story, you know, to show you how God worked too, man. Back on the yard at KC, this brother Justin, you know, he's a fellow poet from Maryland. He told me, and we were just talking on some random shit one day, and he just came out the blue like, oh, let me tell you this. If somebody comes to your house, knocks on the door, and asks you for something, then they ask if you can come in, don't let them in, because they probably want something from you, like to take something from you. I said, cool, man. I didn't think about it, you know, because, you know, ain't shit like that really happened. Well, like a week later, 2 weeks later, somebody come and knock on my door, this dude that had just moved, you know, next door or whatever. Dude comes, knocks on my door and says, can I borrow something? I'm like, yeah, I go to the back room to get it. On my way back, he says, can I come in? I say, yeah, don't think nothing about it until I get in the room to where he couldn't see me. And I'm like, damn, dude just told me, you know, don't let him in. Well, I'm like, well, he's already in. I don't know what to do now. 2 weeks later, I started getting robbed. And I know it was him. My screen got cut out on my window with a knife. And I see this dude about 2 weeks later playing with a switchblade in front of my window. I'm like, even if you didn't do it, you look suspicious as hell. But I know he did, though. But it's all good, man. But I also learned, man, if you just give somebody a chance, man, all you gotta do is talk to somebody, man. You never know what they're going through, man. Especially out here, man. You know, I've come outside and seen diapers, shitty diapers, just sprawled all out here, man. You know, people just don't care because these people don't show that they care about them. You know what I mean? Raising rent. You know, people selling drugs at their apartment because they gotta make ends meet. I ain't saying that I support that, but I understand. You know what I mean? But you go to the office to try to talk to these people about your situation, you know what I mean? And they just have attitudes with you like you ain't shit, like you ain't nobody, because you don't have what they have, you know? So I just learned here, man, first, you know, watch your back. Everybody that smile in your face, that say that they're here to help you, ain't really here to help you. But I also learned that shit, just cause somebody going through something, don't have the proper clothes, got missing teeth, their hair's fucked up. That don't mean that they ain't good people. You know what I mean?
The tidal wave of time washing over my ancestors' victories. The gravel under me is sedimentary to my existence. Imprints on the hieroglyphics of ancient Egypt dying. Lost souls crying, standing on top of pyramids buried in sand. Reaching out to the heavens with chapped hands and no fingertips. Pointing to the sun's eclipse. Yet total darkness is irrelevant to the embodiment of the future. Negligence embraces our intelligence in this millennium regiment. And you are accepted with open arms. Sometimes the writing on the wall ain't legible at all. And it's fucked up, it ain't negotiable, y'all. But I'm standing on a clouded tongue of hymns, realizing that I am him and he is I, and together we is me. So is my abonics a reflection of our genocide, or a crossroads in the language of the new Underground Railroad? You decide, cause what you think is not a reflection of me, but of you and what's inside. So why should I hide myself on the thoughts of your mind? I shouldn't, I should not, I will not.
This is Kennedy Emmanuel Starr Jr. Today is his 16th month birthday. I have a 3-year-old daughter who will turn 4 in January. And I have a son on the way. Should be here in like about 6 more weeks. His name is Paul Lawrence, after the poet. And if I was where I thought I should be, or even wanted to be, I wouldn't even have a problem with it. Because I love kids, you know. And I remember saying since I was like 14, I just wanted a tribe of kids. I just didn't want it, I didn't want it like this, you know, being broke. And I just hate I'm bringing kids into the world when I can barely take care of myself, you know.
I want you to join me, because this is a us piece. If we only knew what we could do. 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 If we only knew what we could do, we stop fussing and fighting and feeling blue. If we only knew that we are juice because of an African connection that we can't cut loose. If the light was on in our minds, we wouldn't diss ourselves so much all the time. Stop and realize without disguise, we've got the power to change what's before our eyes. Where there is poverty and misery, we bring hope, joy, love, and security. There wouldn't be no need to lock your doors at night, because no one lives in the dark and everyone sees the light. If we only knew what we could do. 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 If we only knew how bad we are. We make the sun disappear because we're the brightest star. And if you feel the strength, help those who are weak, then we'll be stepping in the rhythm like Malcolm speaks. So you thought you were a chicken and your butt was made for kicking. You've been running around with your head hanging down, looking for chicken feed in this city of greed. Open up your eyes. Don't you know you can fly like an eagle to the sky, much higher than high? You don't need no crack, smack, or patty whack, and all the bones from that dog you can give them right back. If we only knew what we could do. 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 If we only knew what we could do, we'd stop fussing and fighting and feeling blue, just like we cut our hair in an African style. Show a rich royal treasure every time we smile. Some time ago, we just didn't know we had the power to make the whole thing go. Motivator, educator, we're a power generator. Need to own the joint. Instead of working as a waiter, we only knew what we could do. If 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 we only knew how strong our will. No matter what's been done, our souls can be killed like the sun and the moon and all the stars above. It's a natural thing for us to share our love. We're a healing force in a world of pain. Trying to use common sense where life is insane. We could recognize just who we be. We take control of our lives and live with dignity. If we only knew what we could do. If we only knew what we could do. If we only knew what we could do. If we only knew what we could do.
I don't think you can't escape your demons. I mean, demons are territorial, you know. So like, I mean, like what I mean by that is like, I'm not really sure. I know that demons are territorial because they have been assigned to certain spaces, you know. So like, I can leave Knoxville and go somewhere else, and my demons will stay, but I'll develop new demons or the same demons or whatever when I get to wherever I was going. But I don't think you can ever escape your demons. I think it's all about fighting them. Always fighting them, because either you're gonna beat them or they're gonna beat you. I just use my spoken word. I use my my gifts to fight them and to let other people know some stuff. Like for example, like the sleep slumber piece. I have a line in there where I say the devil can't read, screams and shouts, only curses. He's heard us, he's coming, because we speak about him in verses. That's why, like, if you go to like some churches and you'll hear people moaning and screaming, I think that's what the purpose of that's for, because you know God understands that He created you. You know He'll understand every tear. He'll be able to know which tears are tears of joy, tears of sorrow, tears of sadness. If you scream, He'll be able to know what that scream means and where it comes from. All the devil knows is that you screaming.
This piece is entitled Sleep Slumber. They sleep, they slumber, the longer they wonder what lies ahead. The blanket that covers was made with corruption by the tongues of mouths that feed off consumption of mistrust and greed. From it, gossip breeds and spreads like disease, makes old wounds bleed, eluding the truth protruding from the pillowcase, placed in your face, but the taste only salvates the wants, never the needs. So they sleep, they slumber, the longer they wonder what lies ahead. Beyond these field of dreams beholds the reckoning of destiny. If you could tumble through the weeds, maybe you'd find yours with no greater ease than an acrobat on the trapeze that swings through monsoons at high noon just to feel the breeze, constantly getting feet wet in different oceans, coasting out to sea just to see the sunset at different degrees, posted beyond the shroud of the sundial where time has no morals and everything slows down. Keep your head to the sky and your eyebrows to the clouds now. That's the compass to help you come past the storm that growls. Batten down the hatches, you're not safe on the ground, cause being proud is allowed above love, kisses and hugs. So cry loud like a wolf that howls before the prowl, cause the devil can't read, screams and shouts, only curses. He's heard us, he's coming, cause we speak about him in verses. The language of the angels is the chorus. We sing it loud with a full voice the Horus, and that's why we need 808 drums and deep bass lines, cause God's voice is deep like the bass in that beat behind rhyme. rhymes, but dark spirits use harsh lyrics to keep us blind. So they sleep, they slumber, the longer they wonder what lies ahead. What lies in the distance? Don't worry, don't ask, just dance. But your song don't move me like a tied up b-boy who's too old to be a boy. Much rather leave a noise than be bombarded with retarded street chants and shiny toys. We don't dance like whores for the oppressors. If I'm more than a conqueror, then I'm more than a thug. If I'm more than a gangster, then I'm more than my hood. Dance for sexual gratification? No, we dance for the glory of creation. We dance to the language of the angels like King David or Mr. Bojangles in taps made from halos and shoes made from Bibles. These patent leather mates are laced with faith for survival. Plan to kick down the gates upon my arrival. Start a rap group with the 12 disciples with Jesus on the beatbox. Any friend is welcome in, even a rival. But a close eye is kept like a scope on a rifle. Okay, I'm reloaded. They sleep, they slumber, the longer they wonder what lies ahead. If the body won't respond, then what good is the head? You'd be better off in the land of the living dead, cause everything ain't what it seems, baby. Blue blood bleeds red outside skin, maybe. That means we should change our way of thinking, shady. But par for the course, our complaints in rehearsed, nurse like sick patients. Lack patience, but expect quick payment for actions that don't produce fruit. So then branches must be snatched loose. When you wake up, where will they find you? In sleep or in slumber? Either way, they'll never wonder what lies ahead under covers.
Oh. Somebody asked this lady what was freedom, and she said, I can't tell you what freedom is. I've never been free. I can only tell you what I would like it to be. And I thought that was interesting, and I agreed with that for a while, but after growing up, going through some more things, yeah, I think freedom is within yourself, man. Cause I mean, you can, like, part of my freedom is to be closer to God and be able to have money to do as I please and take care of my kids. And there's people out there that have that, but they're still living miserable lives. They're unhappy, single, they might even be married, and you know, just be struggling with their marriage and have all these vices and have all this guilt for things that they've done in the past or whatever. And I'm not saying that I'm guilt-free, but there's things that I should feel guilty about that I don't. Just because I don't think, man, guilt is not intended for us, man. I don't think God created us with an intention to make us feel guilty because we're supposed to do wrong. That's the only way we can find out who He is by doing wrong. And I think society has made it that that if you're going to be a Christian or follow God in any kind of way, that you have to live this perfect lifestyle. I mean, God expects you to live a holy lifestyle, but I also know that He makes room for errors because He's a forgiving God. If He wasn't forgiven, then, you know, there would be no world right now. But freedom is here, man. Because, I mean, there's people out there that can kill, you know, and not think twice about it, not show no remorse. That's freedom. That's a type of freedom. And that might be a bad analogy or whatever, a negative analogy, but it's still freedom. If they can kill somebody and not lose sleep over it, that's scary, but that's freedom. You know what I mean? If I can go out here and stand on the block and spit my rhymes without worrying about police, nobody saying nothing to me, or nobody looking down on me, or doing whatever I want to do, or whatever I have to do, without thinking about society's consequences or what everybody else is going to think about me, that's freedom. You know what I mean? So, yeah, freedom has to lie within yourself, man.
Coming forth into manhood, I find myself staring in an opaque lake of promises broken. The truth being choken by dreadlock weeds, hidden by head wraps. Conceived from sleeves of a love that once was protecting deceit. Awakened from sleep that made me weak. It seems crazy where I'm at now. The turn my life is taking. So many years of life fighting day and night, and I know I should have died in birth, but it's all good because my life is not forsaken. I am the rhythm. I am the rhythm. I am the setting of the sun. Reflecting wisdom through creation. Eternal peace is my final destination. I am one with the drum. I hold it close like my crotch, or like a thug holds his gun, and I sample nothing. Just watch me take nothing and breathe life into it. I don't need knocking and tell me to just do it. I get to it like after the one, but before that too, Rakim told me to get paid in full. Then he held up a sign that said, beware of bullshit. It comes quick and on the 3, and if you miss it and step in it, it will become you. And since I am you and me, it becomes us. Then we end up right back of the bus. Then we won't want to grow up, cause we'll be Toys R Us kids. There's so many drugs and guns and thugs that society plays with, and you know who you are, cause you won't embrace this. The nigga in the project bricks with no job and a nice car, only worried about the ice on his wrist or the gold around his neck. 22-inch Cuban links, still collecting welfare checks. Still slavery, we've been trapped. To this day, Calgon couldn't take us away. I thought the best part of waking up was waking up, not photos in my cup, but what's done is done. It's time to wake up like the end of school days. But Spike Lee directing this cut, and if he was, he'd probably say, do the right thing. But niggas be singing, it don't mean a thing if it don't go bling bling. Cause if it ain't right, it ain't right. Blinded by the world so you can't see the light. But that's why I'm star, cause these words be shining. Not as bright as the moon, but brighter than diamonds. And I've come a long way, that's why I be rhyming. But I got a long way to go, that's why I'm still crying. But quitters never win, so you know I keep trying. And the devil is alive and he's come out of hiding. But God is coming back, I'm ready and riding. So we gotta get right, please don't think that I'm lying. Embrace your spirit and confide in it. Embrace your love, the truth, and die for that shit.
Yeah. No fans for the show, no stands full of dough, no hands waving hold, no plans for the road, no place to go. And I know. I cannot breathe, I cannot leave, I can't achieve until I see what you've been trying to tell me. Now, you know I'm feeling the pain, feeling the shame, burn inside my veins, and just the sound of a soul crying out. Small little spaces, we all just breathing. White wall gray, Cadillacs gleaming, rims spinning.